This is Behind the Mic with AudioFile magazine. I'm Jo Reed, and welcome to our new format. Each Tuesday, I'll have a 10 to 15-minute conversation highlighting 3 audiobooks with one of our wonderful contributors. And on some Fridays, we'll post extra bonus material. Well, today, Laura Rossi is with me to share her Earphones Roundup. She'll be talking about 3 recent audiobooks that are Earphones winners. And as a reminder, AudioFile awards earphones to exceptional audio experiences. It's kind of our version of a starred review. So, hello, Laura. Let's hear your starred reviews.
Hello, Jo. We are kicking off the new format. And the wonderful news for listeners is that you and I will continue with our trio of audiobooks. One I've listened to, one I'm currently listening to, and one on my to listen to list. So, Jo, we're going to kick off with the audiobook I recently finished, Whale Eyes, a memoir about seeing and being seen by James Robinson, read by James Robinson. And this is delicious.
Now, James Robinson, I know of as a filmmaker.
Yes, he is an Emmy Award-winning documentary filmmaker.
So, same Robinson.
Yes, same Robinson. And this is his illustrated memoir. It's labeled as for middle grade, but it's really for everyone. And it is his story of living with a visual disability. He opens it up with a dedication saying that audiobooks were his lifeline growing up. And the memoir takes him through kind of childhood and tells us about his journey, and literally through an experimental mix of very intimate personal anecdotes, interactive visuals that he is narrating, and incredible sound effects. We see the world like he does.
Okay, I have so many questions, but I want to begin with, why did you choose this book?
Jo, the reason I chose this book is because I am a special needs parent. My son has 2 disabilities, although they're different from the disability that James has. I'm very poised to learn about inclusion and acceptance in all ways. And so, what really took me to the listening experience was that this was experimental. I thought a visual disability with an experimental format, and it's 3.5 hours. I thought, wow, I had heard of James because of his documentary work. So it was a win-win-win for me, and I learned a lot.
And what is his disability?
His disability is something called strabismus. It's a disability where his eyes do not see in a way that allows his brain to fuse images into one image. So it's a real challenge. And one of the reasons he began calling his disability whale eyes is because there was such complexity in describing it. It was easier to come up with a new name. And the name is rooted in this lovely sentiment, which is everyone loves looking at whales, he tells us. And when we look at a beautiful whale, we're only seeing one eye that we can stare into. And that's very much part of his disability, that one eye can focus sort of straight on while the other can't. And so he really said, this was part of his lifelong craving for acceptance. And he used this metaphor of whale eyes to do that.
Lovely. And what now, as I see online, this is a very illustrated book, and in fact, illustrated in very interesting ways in the way the words are presented on the page. Sentences can spiral, words scatter across a page. So, how is this represented in an audiobook?
So part of the representation is in the narration, and then there is a special bonus PDF that comes with this audiobook. And the illustrator is an artist, Brian Ray, who does an interpretation of the narration and what James experiences visually, and then takes that to illustration that is truly poignant and moving and gives you a visual journey.
Well, why don't we hear a little bit? Do you need to set it up?
Yes, Jo, I will set this up because this is a shorter audiobook. I didn't want to do any spoilers. So this is just a quick little opening of how you're going to enter this very unique world that James wants to bring us into.
Okay, so this is Whale Eyes, a memoir about seeing and being seen, written and read by James Robinson.
On the opening page, Brian has drawn an enormous blank book lying wide open. A figure has fallen face first into its pages. The opposite page reads, There are few things worse than getting in trouble. One of those things is reading.
Gosh, it's a younger voice than I expected, but so suited to the material.
Absolutely. He is so charming and so delightful. And if people want even more, there is a lovely video. If you just Google his name and the title of the book, he has a piece on the New York Times, and it's a video kind of like a book trailer, but his mom is in it, his brother's in it. And again, I think once folks listen to the audiobook, they will be ready for the deep dive I took in just consuming all kinds of content around Whale Eyes.
Okay. And that is the book that you've listened to already, Whale Eyes by James Robinson. So what are you listening to now?
Well, I am listening to Where the Rivers Merge by Mary Alice Monroe, read by Mary Alice Monroe, Jenna Lamia, and Cassandra Campbell.
Oh my God. Well, Cassandra Campbell and Jenna Lamia were two of the narrators of The Help.
Yes, and that is part of the reason I picked this title, Joe. You would know that. So Mary Alice Monroe, many people know her for her writing about the beauty and magic of South Carolina in her popular Beach House series. There's a Lifetime movie starring, I think it's Andy McDowell.
Yeah.
This is a book that is a break from that style of writing, but it still centers the beauty and magic of South Carolina Low Country. And this is part of two different books. This is the first audiobook, so there isn't a sequel. It's rather constructed as two stories divided into two different volumes. And we're hearing, there's a lot of duality here. It's got a kind of a dual timeline. So each narrator is playing sort of the part of a different age of the lead character, Eliza. And it's all about family, legacy, the environment, and also some serious issues around slavery and the troubling history of the South.
Okay. Now, fill me in. Is this a novel in two parts? In other words, do we have the whole story with part one or only part of it? And is there a second book coming?
So we only have part of it, Joe, and there is a second book coming.
Okay.
That book will hopefully be out in about a year. And the reason I know this, Joe, is because I have a little tiny secret. I had the pleasure of working with Mary Alice Monroe as her book publicist. When she first began writing Where the Rivers Merge, the story was so epic that it literally didn't fit as one volume. And so her publisher, William Morrow, decided that they would make this two books. And in turn, there will be two audiobooks.
Oh my gosh. Well, another reason why you picked it, yeah?
Yes. Now I'm listening to this now, so I can't really get into, too much without spoilers, but I do have a little sound clip I'd love to set up for you, Joe.
Okay, please do.
So again, this is another shorter sound clip because I don't want to take people too far into the story, but there's a discussion of Carolina Gold, which is a variety of African rice that was first popularized in South Carolina in the 1780s by enslaved people. So this gives you a hint into, although there's beauty and magic, there are heavy topics kind of surrounding the storyline.
Okay, this is Where the Rivers Merge by Mary Alice Monroe, read by Mary Alice Monroe, Jenna Lamia, and Cassandra Campbell.
Carolina gold, or Rhiza glabirma, is the name given to rice cultivated in the Carolinas, particularly South Carolina. It was prized, known for its high quality and distinctive flavor. Carolina gold was brought from Western Africa during the colonial era, and it thrived in the region's marshy landscape. Carolina gold played a significant role in the economy and history of the region.
Well, this is Jenna, correct, that we just heard. Yes, I really like her work. I like her voice, her accent, her inflections. There is something about that voice that just draws me in.
And she is the kind of the younger, early life voice that we're hearing.
We have Mary Alice, we have Jenna, we have Cassandra. How is the narration divvied up?
So, as we just said, Jenna is playing the part of the younger early life stories. Cassandra actually superbly takes us into the later 80s. I mean, the age is really remarkable in how you're hearing the character age. And then Mary Alice Monroe, because I haven't finished the book yet, she opens up with the dedication, and then the continuing into the next volume end, I think, is Mary Alice setting us up for the next book. And so I cannot wait to get to that part. I'm not there yet, Joe.
Well, you'll keep us posted, yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's what you're listening to now, Where the Rivers Merge by Mary Alice Monroe, read by the author Jenna, Lamia, and Cassandra Campbell. And what are you looking forward to listening to next?
I plan to listen to Never Flinch, Holly Gibney Book 4 by Stephen King, read by Jessie Mueller and Stephen King, who reads the afterword.
Okay, so tell me why you chose this.
So this is a little bit of a different choice for me. I've become more of a scaredy cat as I've gotten older, but growing up, summers always meant new Stephen King books for me. And I'd love to sort of, the jump scares and all of the page turning bliss around his novels. And my first job, I actually worked as an assistant with a publicist who worked with Stephen King, and I met him.
I'm telling, who haven't you worked with?
I know. I'm so lucky, Joe. Gosh, maybe I should write my own book one day. But so Stephen King would come into the office at Viking Penguin, and I was, kind of like picking my jaw off the floor. There he was, the master himself, just charming and lovely, lives in Bangor, Maine. And of course, AudioFile, our main office is in Portland, Maine. But I thought, I'm ready to flinch again, playing on the title there. I'm ready to dive in because I've been really following this character, Stephen King's Holly Gibney, and I think I'm ready for a little bit of a scary summer listen. What do you think, Joe?
I think this one actually it's more of a detective crime book.
Yes.
And it's not a horror book. And do you know how I know? Because I'm listening to it.
Oh, you're listening to it. So
Yes.
I was going to say, I have a really great and vivid imagination. I love true crime and I love mysteries. And, so this has, and you're listening to it. So I know it starts with kind of a threatening letter and there's, sort of the whisper of murder.
Oh, it's so much fun. It kept me on the treadmill for an extra half hour today.
Oh, good. So maybe not scary, just a little unsettling, a little creepy.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. The plot is really complicated, and think of a giant puzzle, because he's such a good writer, and I don't like horror.
Okay.
I really, really don't. So when the Holly Gibney series started, I was thrilled he was writing detective fiction, because he wrote a small book about writing that was just beautiful. He's such a beautiful writer, but I don't like getting scared.
I'm with you.
So this is my sweet spot. I'm very happy.
And that is why I feel brave enough to go back to Stephen King, because yes, I've had to move on from the horror, and Joe is correct that this is not in that category, but
no,
I see the name Stephen King and I still, creepiness, kind of enters the room, but I'm very excited. And I think this will be what I'm going to end up calling, an addictive August audio, because he's such a page turner.
Oh, he is.
I love Jessie's narration. So, and how wonderful that you can give me yet another reason that this will be my next listen.
Yeah. So you picked a clip.
I did pick a clip. This clip, and you'll be familiar with it, I'm sure, is so our PI, Holly Gibney, was hired to be on feminist writer Kate McKay's security group. And this is just a little sort of chat about the two of them making a discovery and looking through I think it's an LL Bean bag that's been invaded.
Okay, this is Never Flinch. It's Holly Gibney, book 4. It's by Stephen King, narrated by Jessie Mueller, and Stephen King has an afterword.
In Iowa City, Kate and Holly are consulting with Detective Daniel Speck in the office of the Radisson's manager. Corey has gone in search of new luggage for her boss. Holly doesn't love the girl going out on her own, but Corey has her marching orders, and at least she can't be mistaken again for the woman the stalker is really after. At least Holly hopes not.
As I said, I have really, really liked Jessie Mueller's narration, and she has kept me so engrossed in this book. Laura, it is always such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you, Joe. I look forward to our next conversation about Earphones Awards.
Yeah, I do too. And let me tell you, this Friday, we do have a bonus edition of Behind the Mic. It's our Who's Listening feature. That's where AudioFile talks with top authors, narrators, and others about how and why they listen to audiobooks. This Friday, I speak with award-winning author and all-around charming person, Adriana Trigiani. We talk about her latest book, The View from Lake Como, and it's narrated by Academy Award winner Mira Sorvino. That's this Friday, a bonus edition of Behind the Mic. Support for Behind the Mic comes from Hachette Audio, publisher of the audiobook edition of Kiss Her Goodbye by Lisa Gardner, narrated by Hillary Huber. Behind the Mic is produced by Jessica Lockhart, Robin Whitten, Michelle Cobb, Stephen Cummings, Leslie Fine, Alan Minskoff, Alex Ritchie, Laura Rossi, and Kendra Winchester are our contributors. Jennifer Dow and Coco McCracken are our editors. And the music is William Ross Chernoff's Nomads 4-Way. And I'm your host, Jo Reed. Good listening.